Hey guys, Aurelie here. So I am a weight loss coach and I specialize in the psychology of weight loss. So today I would like to talk about emotional eating. Now, emotional eating is one of these things that it's one of those behaviors that I feel that it's one of the most misunderstood behavior in the weight loss industry. Now, emotional eating is often associated with weakness or having no willpower or no self-control. And of course, that's not entirely true. And I feel that it's not just around emotional eating that there's a lot of, misunderstanding, but there's a lot of misunderstanding or maybe a very narrow view of eating or the psychology of eating itself. I feel like often in the weight loss industry there's this real simplistic view that the sole purpose of eating or the sole purpose of nutrition is to fuel your body to exercise. Now, I find this view really simplistic because this view is not taking into account that we are not robots or machines that just need fuel to do work. We are more than that. We are human beings, okay? We are human beings. We feel, we have needs, we have emotions, we need to feel things, we need to feel happy, we need to feel, comfort, we need to feel pleasure, and we need to feel, intimacy, and we need love. So this simplistic view that food is only fuel for our body is really simplistic. It's not really looking at us holistically, and it's not really looking at nutrition holistically. Now, I have a personal philosophy of eating, and my philosophy is that we are all emotional eaters. It doesn't matter if we struggle with, weight loss, or if we struggle with body image, or if we struggle or not, it doesn't matter, but we are all emotional eaters. And my philosophy behind that is that we are all emotional beings, okay? We are all human beings, we are all emotional, and we eat foods that we like because we enjoy these foods, because they taste good, because they smell good, because they look good, and we choose foods to eat, we choose foods that we like. So how can we not be emotional eaters? It doesn't even matter if we don't have any issues with weight or not, but just the fact that we select food based on how we feel about that food, that already tells me that we are emotional eaters. We eat emotionally. Now, I'm not saying that everyone has problematic emotional eating. I'm not saying that emotional eating is a problem or an issue for everybody. And in fact, I feel that there's two sides to emotional eating, and there's two types of emotional eating. I think that there's a positive and very constructive side of emotional eating. And I think that emotional eating, when it's positive and constructive, can be really, really powerful. And there's also this negative and probably destructive side of emotional eating as well. Now, the positive side of emotional eating, or the constructive side of emotional eating, is when we use food to feel pleasure, and when we use food to feel satisfied, feel comfort, feel pleasure, and we also derive our nutritional needs from these foods. Okay, so for example, we use food to celebrate, birthdays, to celebrate, wedding anniversaries, to celebrate various things, like various cultural things as well. So eating is also part of culture. It's not just, just eating for fueling your workout, but it's part of culture. Eating, when we share a meal with family members, with really close friends, with a significant other, for example, that's a really intimate process. So eating a meal can provide us with a lot of intimacy. And if you look at the creativity that goes into cooking that meal, or into the way the meal has been presented, okay, there's a lot of creativity in that, and that can also be seen as self-expression. So there's a lot more that food can give you than just fuel to be able to exercise. And food is a really powerful source of all these things. Like, food can be a powerful source of happiness, of joy, of intimacy, of pleasure, of excitement and wonder. And that's when emotional eating is positive and very good for you, constructive. On the other hand, emotional eating can be destructive or problematic when you only rely on food to experience comfort, pleasure, intimacy, or all these needs that I've just mentioned. If food becomes your only way of experiencing these things, then you can develop a dependency or a reliance on food. And then whenever you feel stressed, for example, you're going to go to food for comfort, or whenever you feel sad or you feel something, you're going to use food to make you feel better. Now, this is when emotional eating can become problematic. With that in mind, I have 3 strategies that you can use to overcome problematic emotional eating. Not any emotional eating, but just that type of emotional eating that perhaps is a problem for you. So first of all, the first thing you want to do when you find yourself, eating emotionally, or maybe having the desire to reach out for that food and eat emotionally, what you want to do then is you want to maybe pay attention, or maybe journal the emotions that are involved, like maybe the triggers. Now, bearing in mind that the triggers sometimes can be difficult to notice what they are, but if you can somehow determine what's the emotion behind that emotional eating, then you're more aware of what's going on, and you can deal with that emotion. So then you would need to find strategies to maybe meet those needs differently and in other ways other than using food to meet those needs. So that would be the first thing you'd want to do. The second thing you'll want to do is you would want to also practice self-empathy. Like, you've got to realize that if you've been using emotional eating and if you've been using emotional eating to deal with things, and it's become a habit for you, and if you've been doing this for a while, you've got to realize that you're not gonna stop doing this overnight, because it's a pattern that you've built and developed over time. So even though you're working on these emotional triggers behind emotional eating, it doesn't mean that straight away overnight you're gonna stop emotional eating completely. So sometimes you are still going to perhaps resort to emotional eatings at times, and in those times it's important that you don't judge yourself for it and feel bad about it and feel guilty about it, because those negative emotions that you feel are not going to help you overcome emotional eating, and in fact these emotions might even make you seek out for more comfort food to make you feel better. So what you'll need to do is practice that self-empathy at those times, during those times when you reach out for comfort eating or comfort food. The third thing that you'd want to do is you'd want to be really, really patient and really work your way through you know, meeting those other emotional needs or finding other strategies to, you know, dealing with intense emotions so that you don't rely on, you know, emotional eating. So you'll need to be really patient with yourself and really work on these other areas of your life as well, which may be contributing to the emotional eating. Now, if you need help with any of these, if you need help to, you know, work on these other areas, I really recommend that you seek help from a coach, from a life coach like myself, and I'll be leaving my contact details in the comments below. So please, if you need help, please contact me and I'll be more than happy to, you know, work with you and find a solution together. So that was the end of this video, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video and that you've learned something new from this, and I'll see you next time for the next video. Bye!